It's so sad that Nigerian government is trying as much as possible to defend the mess they have put us into. How do you explain that? You told us that when you stop borrowing, when you remove subsidy, things will be cheaper, roads will be constructed, salaries will be increased, a lot of things will happening, there will be no borrowing. But have you noticed that the President TINUBU administration had borrowed more than when there was subsidy? And who even told you that this subsidy is a thing? They are just using this as a cover up. Okay, the monies you collected from subsidy, where is the money, sir? Why are you still borrowing? And people think we are children. Then Shayla will wake up one morning to tweet this. Guys, hold on, let me show you guys his. I would rather stay with a Moses through the wilderness to Canaan than to eat meat and drink with. You see, the guy at this point, I feel that this Shayla is confused. You would rather stay with who? Guys, stay in your lane. You are looking for appointment. That's why you are doing all of this. You are looking for appointment. People are hungry. People are homeless. And you sit down there to tell us how you would rather do this and do that. Guys, shove it for your future generation, for your children. Your children are in the UK and you are in Nigeria causing problem, tweeting things that are out of context. You see the way it is now. That's how Wike woke up and was talking about that the next election, nobody can. What is the meaning of this? This is what they will do. And the next thing, in the first 2 years, they won't do anything. The next 2 years that are remaining, they'll use it to be planning for the next election. In fact, as you see them, they started planning for the next election. Listen to this tape, guys.
I can tell you, with the forces we have, I don't know of anybody who will challenge us. I don't know of anybody who will challenge us. I can tell you, it's like tomorrow is 2027. It's like tomorrow is 2027. So all these people will come and will just rest. For me, it's still very far. I can't wait. The two leadership of the party, APC is here, PDP is where can you find that unity? Which state? It's only Rivers where you can find that unity. And that's what most people don't like. When they see people are united, working together, they find something hard to make sure they are divided. But since we know, we have refused to be divided. This is only state where the ruling party will win for president. The opposition party will take for the National Assembly. Election that was on the same time, the same minute, the same hour. Clap for us. This is what we call uncommon. This is what we call uncommon. I will thank God that uncommonness has been brought to us from our major uncommon friend. I want to sincerely thank all of you. I believe that God is a different person will continue to give us the strength to work together and to support Mr. President. See, so many people, what I find out in this country, we hardly remember yesterday. We are in a rush. We have problem. But you have not asked yourself, God, what it means. How was yesterday? To solve the problems of this country cannot be like miracle. Decisions of Mr. President is hard, but if we are patient at the end of the day, we will get to where we want to get to. It cannot be easy that way. That you wanted to bring a policy that something that has worked for years, within 6 months, you have changed it. Even if it is a miracle, it is difficult. It is difficult. What we require is give him support. I believe in the Renew Hope agenda. I seriously believe in the Renew Hope agenda. I'm not going to do anything to continue to support Mr. President. You know, I was watching television after the court verdicts of every election. Every government that comes out, he said, I thank Mr. President for not interfering. Immediately that has expired, people are saying a different thing. It's Nigeria is a very devil country. I was watching every governor after Supreme Court judgment. After they thank God, the next one is who? Mr. President. Just after 2-3 weeks, everything has evaporated. Now, it's a different thing. Mr. President, we are dying, we are doing this, we are not doing that. That's the country for you. But let nobody lose hope. Don't lose hope. why you should not lose hope? If what we are doing in Abuja today, it means that Mr. President will do better. What we are doing in Abuja today will show you there is a sign of good things coming. It is Mr. President. Some people say, we can do well. We say, monkey the job, monkey the job. No, we are doing anything. If they don't have let monkey job now. Oh, we can do well in Abuja. If President not support, let me come and do well.
We all heard how Wike is already planning for 2027. That 2027 to him is very far. That he cannot see anybody who can defeat them in 2027. Are you guys seeing? This is the kind of country we live in, where people will be smuggled into power, and while they are in power and you call them to do what they're supposed to do, it's just that we forget that this government, we are the ones that gave them this job. We actually employed TINUBU. Yes, Nigerians employed him to go and do his job, and if he's not competent to do the job, what is he supposed to do? Is either he resigns. Do you understand? But these things they are trying to do, waiting for the next election in just this time. Okay, you are saying we should not tell TINUBU to show working in 6 months, but why are you planning for the next election in the same 6 months? The next thing they are talking about is state creation. You are creating state and your people are hungry. You see, why I talk about these things most times is the fact that if I can afford food, what about my neighbor? If I can afford food, what about the people in the village? It is not about me. It is about the next person you know that cannot really afford this thing. Those are the people we are talking about. So it's really sad when people who, are talking about clamoring and trying to defend this man. I'm going to play another tape of a man who was having a serious disagreement with somebody on radio, on TV. This same man is somebody who is eating from the wrath of this country. What is going on here? That a few people are having the monies in their pocket, and that is why they amass wealth. They send their children abroad. Because they live in affluence, they don't understand what the masses are saying. And I feel that each time they enter into politics, they forget that people voted them, or rather they smuggle themselves and through the vote of a few who actually voted them, because I don't understand. And most people who are dragging, all the people who are saying we are not, if you are not Yoruba, you cannot vote in Yoruba land. How far, how market? You are the ones who are crying more. Those people who were fighting on my comment section, I remembered when I was doing election matters, they were fighting on my comment section. Do you know what? I allowed them. 10 months later, I just replied some of them now. I kept asking them how market, how is everything. They've not been able to reply me. They have not been able. I told them how far the person you say would deliver. So the President Tinubu built Lagos and delivered Lagos. He got to deliver Nigeria and build Nigeria. Cement finished, but of course you people attribute it to the cost of cement now. What happened that a whole strategist like Tinubu, that you people told us that is the best thing that happened to Nigeria? How come we are all in this mess? Well, how come? Businesses are closing down. The reason why plastic is so expensive in the market is because the company that was in Nigeria trying to make plastic very affordable and subsidized had left Nigeria, and they are saying companies do not leave Nigeria. How come they don't want nurses to leave Nigeria? If they are paying nurses well and taking care of their well-being, would they want to leave their country? I tell people that living in Nigeria is overrated, is underrated, because living in Nigeria is a blessing. A lot of people go outside the country slaving just to meet up. You live in the UK, you spend so much, you work so hard and eat little, but spend all your monies on bills. There are a lot of families that I know that if Nigeria was working, they will never enter the plane and say they are relocating with their family. They will never do that. But Nigeria, with so much resources, with so much natural resources, we are still living in penury. We are still living in poverty. We are still living in lack, in a country that only tiger nut and shea butter is enough to make this country a big country in the Committee of Nations. And you tell me that yes, Nigeria is a blessed country, we all know that, but are we truly still the giants of Africa? I want to know, because with the cost of living, it's really high. You wake up every morning, you hear this person has been kidnapped. You wake up this morning, the other person has been kidnapped. They are paying ransom. Just the other day, a very popular transport service that I thought that, oh, this one, if you don't have money to fly, you can follow. They were accosted by bandits, and some of them were kidnapped. Is that the kind of Nigeria you are talking about? Well, let me allow you people listen to another person who is defending all of this madness.
Do you know the kind of people that support this government? is people who love truth, who love this country. Okay? People who love the truth and who genuinely love this country. Not rent seekers, not thieves, who want to keep putting subsidy money in their pockets. All right? There was no money to pay subsidy. It was 8 years of grotesque irresponsibility. Okay? Now you gave this guy more than an hour yesterday to start gaslighting. He was on the verge of insurrection, of treason.
That's not correct, Mr. Anopasa. We didn't give him more than 1 hour. Mr. Anopasa, listen, let's calm down so that we can hear each other better. We didn't give him more than 1 hour. We gave him a slot that was barely 30 minutes. I mean, he made his point. Why don't you just respond to the issues that he raised rather than claiming that everybody's gaslighting?
He did not make any point. I am responding to the point. If you will let me, if you will let me respond, please.
All right, Mr. Anakwasa.
If you will let me respond, please.
All right, Mr. Anakwasa. Let us just go to the details here.
One country.
Can we go to the details here, Mr. Anakwasa? How are you? Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, my adorable Oji.
All right, let's just go to the details here. There were a lot of accusations. First of all, Professor Yusuf Usman accused President Bola Ahmed TINUBU of nepotism after he appointed his son-in-law as the head of Federal Housing Authority. He also talked about how this administration has pushed more Nigerians into multi-dimensional poverty because of some of his policies. I'd like for you to respond to those two.
Did he?
Let me just land. My main question.
I am not.
My main question, because it is sure, it is your right of reply, and I'd like for you to respond to those accusations. That's number one. Number two.
I am.
Sure. Number two.
I am responding. Will you let me respond?
Go ahead.
I will not dance to your tune.
No problem. On those two accusations.
You will have to give me some respect.
Sure, sir. On those two accusations.
Let us. It's a conversation for God's sake.
Absolutely.
You will let me speak.
Go ahead, sir. Go
My
ahead.
adorable daughter, please let me speak.
Go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
I adore you. Let me speak. Now, which nepotism is he talking about? Is it the nepotism we saw the last 8 years? He wants to protest what? What is anybody threatening in this country? Who? Threatening who? That you will stop food from coming from north to south? Then the people from south should stop what they produce to go to the north? Do we still have a country? What is wrong with people in this country? Who is threatening who? Seriously. We have one country. Listen, I think Steve, my brother Steve Ayorande will understand this better. I will mention one word. One nation, one destiny. It was the mantra during the era of Shehu Shagari. If nobody there understands that, Steve most certainly will understand it.
I do understand it. Yes, one nation.
Let's respect each other. Nobody should threaten another person in this country. Okay. We are all in this together.
All right, Mr.
We have a president in this country. Our president means well. Please let me speak. Our president means well. He is working hard to put things together. Do you even know the biggest problem we had the last 8 years? When all these people, their voices were silent. The problem was the emasculation of President TINUBU from the... If President TINUBU's touch was in the government this last 8 years, we will not be where we are today.
All right.
We are trying to get out of a difficult situation. Then somebody comes on television and starts threatening people that he will do what? Governor Bago says he wants to stop food moving from Niger State. Should I stop fuel from moving from Delta State to his state? What an insult.
All right.
We are one country. Let us rest. Listen, nobody is afraid of anybody.
Okay.
Let nobody threaten anybody in this country. Please.
All right.
What an insult.
Sure.
Rubbish.
All right, Mr. Anakwasa, you've talked about threat a lot. But I asked a question, and it was just a question about nepotism, which you have not answered yet. But I'll skip that. I'll skip that question.
I said, is it nepotism? Mm-hmm. No, is it nepotism? Whatever nepotism is embellishing, is it worse than the nepotism of the last 8 years? This is what is happening.
All right, the idea of Nigeria being The idea of Nigeria being plunged into multi-dimensional poverty was one of his main issues on the program yesterday. But I'd like for you. Well, you've answered some of those questions.
Can I answer you?
No,
I have heard your question.
You will.
Can I answer it now?
I gave you 5 minutes to respond, but you haven't responded. But let me ask you this last question. What do you make?
I want to respond to the question.
Sure.
No, I insist on responding to the question.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Is it Bola Tinubu that caused... Beautiful. Is it Bola Tinubu that caused multidimensional poverty in Nigeria? How? We are Christians. Today is Sunday, for God's sake. Let us fear God. How did Bola Tinubu cause a single problem in this country? How? 8 years? You were there?
Well, he talked about the
How many people were lifted out of poverty? It's Bola Tinubu's fault. Bola Tinubu is not even 1 year in power.
Okay, let's...
People are complaining.
Mr.
Listen to me.
Please, can I ask you a question? Because you said what problems has he caused. So let's talk about some of the problems we're facing today that we did not face before he was sworn in on the 29th of May, 2023. Can we talk about some of the exact problems we're facing? We have new inflation figures for monetary inflation. The Naira has lost its value at a faster rate than under President... You did not answer Oji's previous question, which was about nepotism. Yes. Yes, sir.
I will answer the first question before this your question.
About nepotism specifically. No, she asked about nepotism specifically.
We are no longer having a conversation. If you will not allow me answer the question, you can't dictate to me.
I'm just asking if you are going to speak on nepotism in government.
Which nepotism? Is it the Bola Tinubu that walked his own son out of a federal executive meeting that you're accusing of nepotism?
Well, the federal executive meeting has people who...
What? Yes.
There's legal requirements for who can be on the Federal Executive Council meetings, right? This is a very important meeting.
No,
and nobody...
Then what are you saying?
We're talking about the appointment of his son-in-law to be in charge of the Federal Housing Commission. My apologies.
No, he is not qualified. Are you more qualified than him? What do you mean by that? What's the... Listen to me. Nobody... Listen. I'm not going to dance to this gaslighting you are trying to do, my adorable daughter. Nobody should threaten anybody in this country. We are one country. Do you know the kind of people that support Bola Tinubu? Let nobody think that he can intimidate anybody. Not in this country. The people who support Bola Tinubu, we support him from the bottom of our heart. And we support him because we believe that this country is in a precarious state. And this is the kind of man we need to be our... People there's this narrative out there that people follow. Do I look like Daniel Bala? We don't collect money from Bola Tinubu. We spend our money on Bola Tinubu. If you don't know.
All right. So, Mr. Onokwasa.
I'll send it on television.
May I come in now, if you don't mind? Mr. Onokwasa. All right. Can I come in now? Just 2 quick questions.
No.
So that you do not get agitated in any way. It's a conversation, just like you said. You've referred to the case. Yes.
Let me be able to respond.
Yes,
That's all I'm asking.
no problem. I'll just ask you 2 quick questions, and then you have the floor to respond. First is to respond on the issue of Governor Bago of Niger State, who is mounting food blockade, discouraging food, in fact, ordering that food should not come down south. You made reference to it, but then who is to act?
It's breaking the law.
Exactly, so who is to act? I said who is to act? Your man, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is the president of the country. We have not had any response from any agency of government on what Governor Bago has done. That's one. Secondly, Mr. Onokwasa, you referred to the case of subsidy, and that subsidy had to go. Correct, subsidy had to go. But then are you aware that we are now paying probably double on subsidy than what the president claimed that he cancelled, that he removed by May 29? Are you able to confirm that if indeed the landing cost of petrol as at today is more than 1,000? Just one moment. If it's more than 1,000 now, it only means that we are paying much more on subsidy than we were paying before May 29. Did you get the question, Mr. Onokwasa?
Hello, I think my mic is off.
I can hear you, but can you hear me? All right, we have Mr. Onokwasa back, but I'm afraid we just have 1 minute to have his response. Mr. Onokwasa, good to have you back. I hope that you got my question the last time.
Yeah, one of your questions was about
Governor Bago of Niger State, and the other one is about subsidy. Is subsidy back? Can you confirm if this government is paying subsidy as at today, as claimed by IMF and a few other media organizations who have done their research?
Yeah. Anybody who has evidence that subsidy is being paid is quite free to present such evidence. What I can tell you for sure is that President TINUBU has been using creative means to stabilize the supply of fuel to Nigerians, as he's equally using creative means to bring down prices, which the citizens of this country will see soon. As for Governor Bago, I don't know who he think he is, that he can disrupt trade, he can violate freedom of movement, he can violate freedom of commerce, he can violate freedom of contract. No problem. If he thinks that is what he's entitled to do, he will know that even a governor with immunity is not above the law. Okay? Now, we are patriots. Okay? And it's not a tit for tat. We are one nation, one country, one destiny. All right? Nobody has the right to block anything from being transported across Nigeria. Because if we do that, we will no longer have a country. Let's respect each other. And let nobody tell us about protest. Protest for what? The protest we did not protest for 8 years. 8 years of indolence.
Governor Bago, by the way, you know, is a member of your party, is a member of APC. I wonder why your party has not done anything about it.
That is beside the point. All right.
You guys remember this Mr. Onoposa very well. He was the same man that was abusing, insulting Rufai on Arise TV. He's back on Arise TV, and this time OG and the other crew members were the ones, you know, asking him questions. But you all know that he answered no question from beginning of that interview to the end. He answered no question. He was just quarreling, insulting, and saying unkind words. These are the people that TINUBU is surrounding himself with. Have you noticed that this man kept putting the blame of everything that TINUBU is doing on Buhari? Was Buhari not one of the people that TINUBU claimed to have made president? So what? Okay, now you are telling me that you made someone a president and the person did not show working, the person did not do the right thing, and you are calling the person that he was a failure. Guys, please, I want you to watch this video today and let me show you your president who went to represent your country in a summit. See what your president was doing. Hold on. The president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria sleeping in a summit. So what is he going to hear for him to begin to, you know, respond to whatever it is? This was after he had woken up from the sleep. Isn't this something that is very, very funny? This was time for pictures. He was fully awake. You see, this is what they do. You guys remember the Dubai trip, right? That they packed so many people, put their names on the list and took them to Dubai. See, this is this country is just a joke. This country is a joke. This country is a joke, a very big joke. A big joke. And then people have the mind to sit down and talk about you know, defending a country like this. And I'm so, you know, disappointed in the youth who are still now. The man who came out and said that he made his family to vote for this man, he made his children, his wives to vote, and all his workers, they are all coming out to cry. Now nobody is talking about, you know, during the football tournament, the AFCON football, people did not talk about their tribe or religion. We talked about one Nigeria. I hope that is what we will look forward to. Talking whenever it comes to you know, politics, where we should choose the right leaders. Let us talk about Nigeria, not tribe, not religion, because the politicians already know our weak point. That once they drop that tribalism and religion, we will begin to fight amongst ourselves while they keep using us to play koso and making money off us. You people don't even understand. Now is the Yoruba people buying things different from the Igbos? I am not Igbo, neither am I Yoruba, but I've always stood that people should fight for one Nigeria and stop all this dancing to the tone of all these old men who have lived their lives. And look at us. How old are we? We still have a long way to go. Yet we allow all these people who do not know their left from right, who do not even know how to operate ordinary telephone, to be our leaders in a country that is full of very bright brains, a country that is full of intellectual, you know, intelligent human beings, a country that have the best doctors, the best nurses. We are here opening our mouth, trying to defend rubbish, to defend incompetence in the face of this kind of madness, and we think we are doing ourselves. That is, You fly your children abroad, keep them in better places, in saner climes, and then come to Nigeria and begin to tweet rubbish. Some of you even stay there to tweet, supporting a bad government, a failed government. People are being kidnapped and being killed, and nothing is being done about it. And then you sit down there supporting what is unkind. This is not fair. You guys should stop this. Nigeria needs a whole